Today we are going to be installing ESP IDF on macOS using Visual Studio Code. But before, we need to install a driver for the ESP32. Here you're going to see me click the download button and install this driver so we can communicate with the ESP32 or ESP32S3. So what you're going to do is click and drag this into applications. As you see, I'm going to launch the Launchpad by accident instead of double-clicking on application and searching. But you're going to see I'm going to fix that mistake here in a second. So we're going to double-click on it, and we're going to look for the CH34 VCP driver, which is going to allow us to communicate with our ESP32. It's right above my mouse cursor. We're going to click open, and then we're going to restart the MacBook after we click OK. All right, now that I'm back, I'm going to install Visual Studio Code onto my machine, but it's already installed on my other account, so it's going to just allow me to open it up. But basically, it's the same procedure as installing the driver, as you can see. So I'm going to go over here, double click on, or I'm waiting for the download, sorry. Now that the download is done, I'm going to click it and Visual Studio Code's going to open, but for you, it's going to ask you to install it just like the driver. So here I'm going to be looking to install the ESP IDF plugin on Visual Studio Code, which is, I don't know why I'm opening up the folder. I'm browsing around like a goose over here. I'll find the plugins eventually. So while that, oh, here we go, I found them. So we're going to type in ESP IDF. We're going to click install. Well, I already have it installed, so you'll click install. So we're going to look around, see how I can start a project, and it's going to take me a minute to find this because obviously I've never really used Visual Studio Code. I use Sea Lion or Client, however you want to pronounce it, and WebStorm. Those are my two main IDEs, but I'm setting this up for Visual Studio Code at the moment. Right here, I found the configure extension, which will take me a minute to press. Oh, there we go. We're going to be doing the Express install. So click Express. We're going to click we're going to keep the select download server to GitHub unless you live in China, and we're going to select the ESP IDF version to 5.4, one of the newest releases. And because I already have this installed on my machine, it's going to give me an error like a couple times, and then I'm going to figure out that, oh, I need to open up my terminal, which will be here in a second. So after realizing I need to open up my terminal and do rm-rf remove v 5.4, we're going to cd back into it and remove the folder that is holding us back. After doing so, we're going to get right back onto track. Sorry for my slow typing. I'm kind of used to the terminal. Now we're going to click install. So I'm going to speed up the video here in a second, as we don't want to wait the whole time. Okay, I'm back. And now we're going to click new project because that's what we're going to be starting, a hello world. I have a few errors I'm going to probably close out before starting the new project. All right, I'm waiting. Click IDF version 5.4. Project name is Hello World or whatever you want to name it. And we're going to select the ESP32S3, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to go through and fix these config settings later. And since we don't have any components we're adding in right now, we're going to just press choose project template, and we're going to choose the default one, template app, but there's no hello world, as you can see. create project using template app, which is basically going to give us a CMake file that we're not going to really look at in this video and a main.c. I'll show you in a later video how to use CPP and do some fun stuff with your CMake, as that's a little bit more advanced than just installing ESP IDF. So now that we have our project, we're going to go into main. I'm going to type in a few things, but I'm going to inevitably go into printf as ESP log is not installed yet, or not installed, but I didn't include it. But you're going to see me make a few typos here and there, and that's just the fun of this. And miss a semicolon. So here I have ESP log I with tag for the tag and hello as the content I want it to print out. And we included ESP log.h. And I'm going to be setting up the USB serial port as the one USB 101 because that's just the one that my ESP is identified as. And we're going to select, because I'm using the S3, we're going to pick ESP S3 and we're going to pick ESP prog because my board is not a JTAG. And I'm going to quickly realize I didn't make a mistake, but it just needed to load the files. And then we're going to build the project, which will take a minute. So yeah. Because a lot of us will run into errors like these, kind of because we're, new to this. I'm going to keep this in the video because I actually still have my idf.py monitor up. And that's causing this flash issue, which you guys might run into also. So this is just a pretty good note to keep you on track that not everything is perfect. Or I don't do everything perfectly either. So idf.py.flash, and I'm going to quickly realize that one of my terminals is not closed here in a second. And you're going to see me go over here, click through them, be like, oh, no, not that one. Oh, here it is, waiting to reconnect device. And now we're going to reflash the device. It's going to work, and voila, we have a fully flashed ESP32S3 on Visual Studio Code. And we're going to monitor the device. Oh, waiting for download. I have my ESP32S3 in download mode, so I'm going to restart it and close out of ESP IDF.monitor, which is just the terminal. And we're going to restart it, and you'll quickly see hello world printed down here. I'm going to highlight it for you. There you go. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, because I will. Bye.